Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have a no logic race for you. We've got ourselves Gland versus JC. We're going to show you all kinds of major glitches. As you can see, JC just clipped himself over to Lake Hylia and is just going to auto walk all the way down. This is actually something you're going to see a lot in the major glitches in the Overworld glitch tournament that's coming up soon. And he's going ahead and saving and quitting. We've got Gland checking the Uncle Tunnel. So, what do we get? We get bomb upgrade. And in Sanctuary, we have a piece of heart. Now, as far as what is no logic? Well, a lot of times when you're running rando, there's a way that items are placed such that you can expect things to be in certain places. You can know that the lamp isn't going to be in dark rooms and all of that. Well, we decided, what if we went without all of that? Could we still beat the game even if there was no way to tell that an item could be anywhere, and in fact could lock itself? Well,
yes.
It turns out that's very possible.
How possible?
So far, the easiest way that I could say that it's not possible is you would have to have Swamp be a red crystal, have both Mirror and Samaria in Fat Fairy. That is the easiest way for it to be a completely soft lock seed, but we haven't had that happen yet, and we've had dozens of these races before.
Is that the only way you can think of?
It's not the only way, but it's the simplest. There's probably some very convoluted way that involves keys being in some weird places, but that's highly unlikely.
Are you sure keys matter?
You're right, they really don't, and we'll get into that in just a second. We're just kind of exploring a lot of the early areas, getting
Do you think
information
there's
such as
some
what's on
way to
Lumberjack.
get to any chest without keys at all?
There actually is, and let's go ahead and get into that. In The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, there's a number of dungeons, and the keys are tied to those dungeons. But another place that kind of counts as a dungeon is the cave. All the caves that you see in the world. And it just so happens that the way that the game handles not showing the key counter is by setting it to a -1. And just by virtue of programming on a binary system, a -1 kind of overflows to being a 255. So if you can manage to get to somewhere while the game thinks you're in a cave, you essentially have 255 small keys.
Of course, you have to be careful, because if you get one key, now you have 0.
Right, because it goes from -1 to 0. But as long as you use one first, you're usually okay.
And of course, this is key sanity, so what are even the chances of finding a key in its own dungeon?
Pretty low, I guess. Less low in the more key-heavy dungeons, of course, but as it stands, we honestly don't really need them. Now, I mentioned how the small keys and such can be bypassed, but the big keys is another story. This is a very weird quirk of Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, in that if you have the big key from the castle dungeon, such as the one where you go and rescue Zelda, for some reason, whenever you try to open a big chest or a big key door, the game checks against the Hyrule Castle big key as to whether or not you can open it. It checks a couple of other dungeons too, but we often just use Escape because it's easy to get to and we know we'll find it there, since it's guaranteed to be on that ball and chain guard.
Yeah, I don't actually know why it checks for those keys.
Game's weird, man. As a wise sage once said. And that sage is probably the person that we learned all of these glitches from in the first place.
I think it's pronounced Scudge.
Yep, good old Super Scudge. So we're still just going around trying to see if we can find some of our glitching implements. The main things that we're looking for are bottles, the mirror, and the cane of Samaria.
I don't know, I feel like bombs are useful too.
Yeah, but bombs we can buy. I'm not too worried about finding them.
I always am.
Now, there are a bunch of things that we can do without a sword, but there's a lot of glitches that actually are easier to do if you have a sword with you. A lot of clips can be easier because you can use spin speed and such, and then you can use your sword for visual cues with all kinds of other things. So finding a sword is also pretty important, but you also need to find 2 progressive swords just so you can even kill Ganon.
Is that our first glitch right there?
No, the first one was to jump to the Lake Hylia Island earlier. But JC is just kind of passing by the race game there and going straight to deserts.
Yeah, who needs it?
Oh, we find the silvers on the desert ledge. And a lot of the stuff you're seeing out of JC right now is stuff that you'll see in the upcoming Overworld Glitches tournaments. That's starting up very soon. In fact, the signups are ending in a couple of days, I think, on the 30th.
Nope, they end tonight.
Oh, tonight? I thought tonight was just the deadline for having 2 races under your belts.
No, I think tonight's the night for signing up. 30th is when it actually starts.
Well, I guess if you want to join that tournament, you better get on it.
You have 3 days to do 2 sub-3-hour seeds.
Alright, so far we haven't really found any of our glitching implements. We haven't found a sword, so we're still just fumbling about trying to find weaponry and such so that we can get through all these dungeons.
I'm very disappointed that JC is using a key there. Oh wait, does he? No, he doesn't even have a key.
Yeah, it's not in that dungeon.
I'm very disappointed we didn't see quadrant glitch from him.
He probably doesn't know the way to do it. There is a way to do it with a sword, and there's also a way to do it with damage, but it's only something that's only been recently discovered, and it's pretty obscure.
As useless as it is, quadrant glitch is definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, quadrant glitch. So
I think Glam's gonna do it though.
He might. He looks like he's moving toward that area. Oh, yeah, he is. He's gonna try it. He's gonna try it. So this is a weird thing. He's going to try to take damage while he's on a very particular pixel at the very bottom of this particular screen. And he wants to be knocked in a certain way. So now he's going to wait to get hit by the devalence. And then oh, he moved to the right. I don't think he got it. He was supposed to head straight down from there. But if it did happen to work, we'll see him kind of move off to the right in a very weird way. Oh, he got it. He did get it. He got the quadrant glitch. So he is bypassing that initial key door and is going to go straight to the Desert Palace big key chest to get a heart piece.
Just a heart piece, yeah. Nothing fun.
Well, he also gets this chest. But anyway,
now he's gonna kill himself.
He could. It probably would be better to save and quit, I think, but killing yourself is also good. Quadrant glitch, by the way. Quadrant glitch, by the way, is only relatively recent in terms of overall Link to the Past glitching. It happens when you cross a quadrant boundary, which exists in almost every single area of the game on the dungeons and caves. But if you cross that boundary in a particular way, either on the first frame of a sword spin, or with damage when you're right at the transitional border, the game doesn't update where it thinks Link is properly. And so the next time you do a transition along that particular direction, it just gets all sorts of confused, as you can see by just the way that Gland kind of wrapped around there.
And unfortunately, it's pretty useless. Basically, Desert Palace and Turtle Rock.
Didn't you find some stuff in Palace of Darkness that could work with it,
too?
Yeah.
Bowless Helma with hammer.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm being completely honest, that's still pretty useless.
Oh, and we find a sword in the dam. So now we have spin speed available to us, which makes a lot of clips very easy, such as the one that Gland just did there. It would be a lot easier if he had a sword there. Yeah, Bay82 is right that it's similar to the potion glitch, and in fact, the potion glitch is sort of a way that you can wind up getting the same effect that you would get off of a quadrant glitch, but it's kind of precise as far as to whether or not you can get that to work.
I don't know, just keep in mind, when we're talking about major glitches, you need to be a lot more specific when you say potion glitch.
That's true, but I know which potion glitch that Bay is referring to, the one in Pod.
Yep, Glan and Pod, discovered by Glan.
Yeah. He discovered the way of getting past the bow locked section in Pod by using a potion. But as far as other potion glitches, we have the infamous YBA, which stands for Yuzuhara Bottle Adventure, named after its discoverer, the Japanese tasser Yuzuhara, who has found so many glitches in this game. It's insane.
I also credit him with a bunch of stuff that we know RTA.
Yeah. He pioneered a lot of the stuff that we know now.
Like our east and south mirror doors. I only discovered that because I was trying to copy what he did without up, down, left, right.
Yeah, and the only reason I found out how to do the South Samaria glitches was by watching an old video of his, and then just extrapolated that to find a similar version.
Here's our first door juke.
Yeah, so JC is using a bomb to snap himself past transition, which messes up how the game transitions. Now, I say snap because when you try to carry objects in a doorway and then move up or down... Yeah, he finds the second sword. But when you try to move in the same direction as the doorway when you're holding an object, you kind of get snapped every 4 pixels or so. And it honestly works like a teleport, so if you can wind up moving yourself across the transitional boundary, you wind up with what happened there on JC's screen. Now, surprisingly, Glenn doesn't seem to be going for it.
Yeah, that's surprising. I thought he would. But an important thing that you'll notice about what JC did was he came back out of Mini Moldorm Cave. That's because Mini Moldorm Cave is on the secondary map. If you've ever watched Entrance Randomizer, you'll know that there used to be single entrance and multi-entrance. The thing with single entrance...
JC just got a bottle.
Oh boy, this is going to be fun.
And Glenn has a bottle. Oh boy, we're about to see some fun stuff, and they even have a potion in it already. Anyway, as you were saying with entrance rando.
Yeah, single entrances always lead back to where you entered them from. No matter what. So even though JC went to a completely different dungeon area, he came back out of Mini Moldorm Cave. I think...
JC is going to do Hyrule Fortune. So what he's going to do here is he's using the potion in this doorway, and in fact using a green potion here specifically, in order to bring up the flute menu. Let's see if he gets it here. No, he drank the potion. He didn't get it. He's gonna reset to try again.
He saved, right? That's a lot.
Yeah, he saved and quit back to his house before going to castle, so he still has the green potion on him. He just reset to save it.
Doing a very boring minor glitch known as false flippers or something.
Yeah, good old fake flippers. Just getting a little bit of money for his trouble. Although, really, I'm surprised that JC is going for money right now. He already has about 700 rupees. That'll get you a long way.
I think he just wants to show it off.
Well, there's that, and I guess he doesn't want to find the flippers and then be under a situation where he can't necessarily do what he wants to do here. Because yes, flippers matters. Oh, he got the flute menu. All right, so now he is walking. Okay, so he's getting a bunch of money. He is going to get probably thousands of money here.
For some reason, well, he's basically exploring the game's RAM right now, which... It's mostly junk tiles. There's a bunch of diagonal tiles that you can't really move through. There's a bunch of water tiles.
There's a bunch of random doors and such, and even some spikes and such.
I found a key door by Witch Hut that just sucks through all your keys.
But also strewn about these are the blue rupee tiles, the things that you see in the Houlihan room or on the floor in the dark hallways of Pod and such. And he's just running over that rupee tile over and over and over. Because for some reason, it's just there. It never depletes. He could go to 9999 if he wanted to, but he's going to stop at about... Actually, he's got more than 3,500, I'm sure. It's going to keep counting up for him here.
You know, what I think's going on there is that because it's not actually really a blue rupee tile, he's not marked as being near one. And because he's not marked as being near one, the game doesn't have a chance to change it to a empty blue rupee tile.
Yeah, either that or it's just a value in RAM that keeps getting reset to that.
That too.
Oh, Glenn went for the Zora DMA, which you might see in the overworld glitch tourney. He's getting some nice screen wraps going on here.
Yeah, he's got to be careful, because if he goes off in the wrong direction, he's going to be walking forever.
He jumped down. He's got to find his way to a cave entrance now to fix his camera, because it's a bit wonky. All right, he found his way.
And now we're here.
Now we're in Paradox. Meanwhile, JC is going to go buy some more potions, and he is still getting money, by the way. He has over 6,000 rupees now. It's been counting up this entire time.
Also the mushroom.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mushroom.
I don't know if he would. Oh, he might be waiting for Samaria. I don't know if he turned it in. He might be waiting on that so he can fake powder later. Because you never know if something might be locked behind there, and you might need powder somewhere else. I don't know. Meanwhile, we're finding
Keys
really
to pod,
nothing
which
important.
yeah, keys to pod are not important at all.
I mean, most keys aren't important, but pod keys are probably the least important.
Yeah, definitely the least important. And we'll probably get to explain later because of how useful the glitch is.
Right, and Glenn is probably going to head that way pretty soon.
He's right nearby. Some people might even know what we're talking about already.
Meanwhile, JC is going through the escape sequence, likely to get the big key from the ball and chain guard. That way he can use the big key we talked about earlier for cave state things.
That's
so he doesn't
important.
have to worry about it.
I'm guessing there was something up on the island because clans seem to be going up there. But I didn't catch it.
I didn't catch it either, but we'll see if he gets what he wants. Either that or he's just going to show it. Oh, it's another bottle!
That's very useful.
Trying to get on the right position. There he goes.
Yeah, that's actually a tricky one. I don't like it.
It's relatively precise.
Yeah,
And then getting the
basically,
nice hop back in.
the game thinks you're in water, but so when you land, it splashes you, and then it tries to set you back. But similar to the way fake flippers works, you still have one frame of movement. So if you can have that one frame jump you back out of the water, you can land right on the island.
That is one variant of it, but Glenn actually did a different one that he discovered himself.
He
Found
did?
out that if you're near the water edge there, you can actually dash and kind of jump and just move over the what would constitute the water tile and actually hit whatever ledge is right there. So
that's what you were talking about the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know that.
All right, so we got the big key out of Hyrule Castle dungeon, and JC is going to take a death warp to get back to the entrance. He's likely going to go into the sewers to check what is in the dark cross chest. Meanwhile, Glenn is heading in the back part of Escape to check what these three chests are.
Well, who knows? Maybe we might get a pyramid check.
I don't think these guys are going to go for that, but that is possible, yes.
I hope
it
we
is
get a
very
pyramid
possible
check.
to go for it. Come on, Glenn, do you know? I don't think he knows it.
Oh, no, he knows it. I know he knows it.
He might not be comfortable with it, though, because that trick is very precise. Basically, what we're talking about is something similar to what JC did to go from the mini Boldorm cave to King's Tomb, where you snap across the transition at the door. But you have to do it in a very precise way. I think you have only a handful of frames in order to
We're going
do
to
it properly.
Thievestown, though.
Oh yeah, JC is doing an Uncle to Thieves, and this is, since JC started from Uncle, he actually does have the cave state active right now, because Uncle is counted as a cave, so he gets to open up that door for free. And as you notice next to his arrow counter, he now has a 54 there, which counts for 254 small keys.
It's about to say 99 if he does get a small key.
I think that's something that just kind of happens with...
yeah, that's a rando thing, but it's worth
Yeah.
mentioning.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think there are 100 key doors in the game, so that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, no, there's like less than 100 keys. I should know how many keys there are, to be honest.
You really should. But, anyway.
I just grab them and go. You know,
Anyway, JC is
small
gonna-
little glitch there. He got sucked down because because Uncle is what's known as weak EG, meaning it looks like there's two layers, but there's really not. It's one layer, and because you're on the lower layer there, when you go back upstairs, the game puts you in a slightly weirder spot, and it makes it really easy to get sucked right back down the stairs. So that's why you saw JC go up and then back down. He didn't really want to, but he was pretty much forced to because he didn't do an item dash, because he didn't do a key dash.
Right, you can avoid getting sucked back down those stairways like that if you happen to key dash into the staircase.
So far, just maps from Thievestown. Maps and things for Skullwoods.
Uh-oh.
Oh no,
Glenn died
Glam.
a little prematurely there, I think.
Just a little.
He's gonna have to fight his way back down there.
But yeah, that's an important item to get, so it's not like he has a choice.
Maybe if he found the Thieves Town big key somewhere, he'd be okay, but we have no idea where that is. So we're just gonna hedge our bets and just go for the Hyrule Castle one since we know where it is.
I hope we also see LSD blind.
Ooh, a third bottle.
I think that's
Bottles of
2 for
plenty.
him. 2 for him, but now we know where 3 of them are.
Yeah, Glenn got the one on the island. JC got the one in Thieves Town. I'm surprised he's exiting Thieves here, but he's going to go ahead and open it up. Now, JC is actually still technically in the Light World right now, even though it looks like the Dark World. The game thinks he's in Light World, so if he were to transition off of this particular overworld screen, it would put him back into Light World immediately.
But it would still look like Dark World.
It would have some palette elements and a few tiles that look the same, but it would be Light World entirely.
Yup, including the sprites.
So he's just going to go around and get these houses, because that doesn't mess with transitioning off the overworld screen. So he's going to get as many items here as he can. He may even go back inside to Thieves Town, or just decide to go back into the Light World in this area.
Or check the map and forget that it's key sanity.
I think he only has Dark World maps, and the game thinks he's in Light World, so it's not going to show anything proper for him.
Glenn going to get that one chest in the middle of escape.
Alright, JC, where are you going? You're going back into Thieves. He's probably going to complete this dungeon now. Just to get it out of the way. Not really. I mean, getting it out of the way is fine, and there's...
No, I mean to not get it out of the way when he was already in there.
Well, he had to exit first, because he was still in the cave state at the time.
Well, that's true.
And while he could get out of the blind fight by using some weird graphical glitch things, he probably didn't feel comfortable enough doing that.
It's really free with boots. I should teach him that.
You should teach me that too, because I've never been good at it either.
Okay, literally just as soon as you're at the top of the light, press select after dashing. It doesn't matter where blind is, as long as she ends up inside the light.
Alright, so where is Glenn going to next?
Looks like he's turning in mushroom, maybe, and getting potions. That's a useful setup you should know just in general, that if you bonk something that's close to a screen transition, you will end up on the very edge of the screen. That makes things like fake flippers and certain matrix glitches very easy.
Glenn is deciding to turn into mushrooms, so he won't have the ability to fake powder later.
Yeah, but that's just a minor glitch. Who cares? Let's get
Well,
on with real glitches.
Fake powder is still useful, and he finds the hook shot for his trouble.
That's a very useful item.
It is. Its most useful, I guess, use would actually be to kill Argus, because there's a lot of things you can do with Argus dead.
I just like the hook shot.
It's a good item.
It makes spin speed a little faster,
When you have it equipped.
which he does. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that Glenn is going to Palace of Darkness. Or Hera.
He could try to go to Hera first. Instead, right now he's just doing a standard DMA, the one that you will see most often in speedruns, because it's the quickest way to get to the Old Man Cave from Sanctuary.
And if you watch any of the Overworld Glitches tournament, you are going to see that at least twice every match.
Or some variants of getting up Death Mountain by using the slopes along that side of
We already
where
saw
the
one
lumberjack
variant
trees.
earlier.
That's right, the Zora DMA that Glenn did already. So he's been up on Death Mountain on the other side.
Now we can get back to the other side without glitches. Because he gets hook shot.
Regario, yes, Flipperless Swamp is possible with major glitches, and it is probably the most convoluted series of glitches that we might see tonight.
I know JC wants to do that.
Glenn probably does too, although if he finds flippers, I think he's going to want to go for Mirrorless Swamp.
I want to see a mirrorless mirror portal.
I do too, because that's a relatively new discovery.
Yeah, that's my favorite. More like Tower of Arrows, am I right?
You okay there, Glenn?
You know what I've never seen someone do, but that you can do in that beetle room? If you go to the left quickly enough and use the hook shot, you can keep your camera broken, then you can stun the beetles, shoot them off to the right, and the door opens.
Right, because the game only checks for enemies on screen for the kill all enemy rooms.
It's really precise and tight, but it's cool.
And Glenn is going to do what we call Kiki Skip. He's going to try to use a bomb and dashing in order to clip through this angled wall here.
Now, the reason this works is because bombs shoot you off in a direction based on your speed and what's known as your subpixel, which controls your speed at a more precise level. Now, the thing is, you need to be exactly under the bomb for it to work that way. So, you have to get on the right pixel, place the bomb, and then when you're dashing up a slope, that is able to get you to the right subpixel so that you are exactly under the bomb. Not just exactly under it on the pixel, but exactly on it on the subpixel.
In any case, we call this Kiki Skip because it allows you to go through a majority of pod, but in the cave state. Now, you may notice there's no enemies here. And this is because Glenn has done something called wrapping the map. All the dungeons and caves in the game are kind of stitched together on this quilt. And for some reason, the Spectacle Rock Cave is at the very bottom of this quilt, but Palace of Darkness is up at the top. And by transitioning down, Glenn kind of wrapped around the entire map. And when you do that, all of the sprites despawn.
They just don't know where to go.
You're essentially in a parallel universe.
Pretty much. Ooh. I mean, it's not going to happen, but I hope. Oh, no, it's not going to happen. He does have the big key chest.
We find the ice rod. I don't think
I
we're
wish
going to
he
get any
didn't.
use out of it.
We might see Hookshot Cave.
We might. I don't think he's going to.
No, we're
he's not
not.
going to go for it.
No, Hookshot Cave. I wonder what's going through all the people's heads who, like, just don't know this game. They're thinking, how are you getting to Hookshot Cave? Oh, man.
There are ways. There are ways. My favorite is by using the mirror to do that. But we don't have that yet. In any case, Glenn is still going to go through Palace of Darkness, unlocking all kinds of key doors, probably getting the big chest as well. Meanwhile, JC looks like he's going for Eastern. Or is he just bypassing rocks?
No, there's a better spot to bypass rocks. I have no idea what he's doing.
He may think he needs to downward teleport here, but he doesn't. He just needs to transport down. He just needs to transition down.
I actually learned a really nice spot for that on the next screen. Glenn's doing something called Mallet Boost or something.
Hammer Yump.
Oh, big key to Ice Palace. Not needed at all.
And meanwhile, he's got to go through the Dark Maze in reverse without a lamp.
But with
Finds
also
the Moon Pearl! Oh boy.
That's a great spot, but not just without the lamp, but also without Kadongos, so it's really not that bad. Now, I don't know if we're going to see it from these two, but Ice Palace is another one that's really easy to get into in Cave State.
Now, unfortunately, Glenn did find the Moon Pearl, which means we might not see as many fun things out of him for a while.
Well, we'll also see more fun things in other directions.
That's true, that's true. But we probably won't see too many fake flutes, I think. Now, fake flutes. I guess I should go ahead and explain what those are. We saw one out of JC earlier, but that was within a dungeon. The other kind of fake flute is on the overworld, when you drink a blue potion on the same frame as any overworld transition, it brings up the flute menu, even in the Dark World, and allows you to flute around to any of the 8 normal spots. Uh-oh. JC got stuck trying to do a Hera clip there. Didn't press the right direction to go to the staircase.
Oh boy, a small key to Hyrule Castle. We sure needed that.
That actually does help a bit, because that could give Glan a way to upper Hera, because I don't think we have that yet.
That's true.
So, you may be asking, how is a Hyrule Castle small key going to help you get to Hera? Well, turns out there is a potion glitch you can do over near where the key rat is that brings you past the big key door in Tower of Hera. And since you have the big key in Hyrule Castle, you can go ahead and unlock the big key door there.
Looks like we're getting the Thieves Town play from Glam? Maybe?
Looks like it. Looks like it. And JC is probably going to go to Pod now by using the Kiki skip.
Oh, he drank the potion.
No, he got it right. Yeah. It was a green potion, so it refilled his health and magic. It's deceptive like that.
I'm a fool.
It's deceptive like that. So yeah, YBAs do have a secondary effect with them, usually. And the effect that you get is determined by what type of door you go through and the potion that you use. Red potions always have the sort of prayer fade out that you get when you read a tablet. And green potions have one of 2 effects in caves. It'll either refill all your health and magic, like a blue potion would, or it will call the flutes, which we saw out of JC earlier.
Red potions actually have one more effect. It's only with the Samaria, but they can refill just your magic.
Yeah, and that's a relatively precise one, and we probably won't see that out of our runners today.
Yeah, that one's... I think... I've never had a magic refill actually be useful. Like, in terms of the glitch.
Meanwhile, we are getting some retreading of steps here. Glan going through Thieves Town. I wonder if he's going to try clipping to Desert. He probably won't try clipping to Desert, because I don't think he has another potion. He could go to Desert and then go to Mire if he so wished, but I don't think he's going to do that. He's probably just going to keep clearing Thieves Town here.
He probably would if he hadn't already been to Desert. Although, you know what he could do? He could clip down to Desert, and since he's in Cave State, he could open the door. That would get him into Swamp, eventually, without having to find the Desert Small Key.
Yeah, that could work, but he would need Samaria for that, to get to Swamp later.
I mean, you've always got to hope Samaria is nearby.
Yeah, the Cane of Samaria is the most broken item in the game, by far. Although potions are second.
Not a close second, though. We might see LSD from Glan.
Yeah, since he deliberately grabbed the maiden here, and not earlier. I guess that's why he's grabbing the maiden now, is because he went upstairs to bomb the hole first.
No, the important thing about LSD blind is not that it looks cool. It's not just that it looks cool, but that for some reason, it leaves the door to Blind's room open.
So that even after you kill Blind, you can exit. Usually that door locks behind you.
Which is important because in the cave state, Blind does not drop a pendant or a crystal. It doesn't know what to drop because you're not in a valid dungeon.
Well, actually, it's just a 0 drop, a nothing drop. You would get the same thing out of GT as well if you somehow got to a boss room other than Aga 2. Which, coincidentally, we could see our runners get extra heart containers if they want from the grief fights in Ganon's Tower, if they happen to come from another dungeon first.
And for a fun fact, there's a certain dungeon where you'd get ether instead of a pendant or a crystal.
That's right. You could get the ether as a dungeon prize if you made it to a boss room, but you started from Hyrule Castle first, rather than any cave or dungeon.
Does it work the same in Rando like that?
Yeah, actually, I don't remember if it works the same or not. It might be different.
But
It
as you
might
can
be
see,
different.
also part of LSD is that the boss music is still playing. Because there's no trigger for the boss music to stop when you leave that room. Because normally not allowed to.
JC gonna go get some more potions here.
Glan using the door you never use without glitches. Because you never need to.
I need to remember that door. I always wind up going around.
I sometimes forget that the shutter door is on the other side. Now, the thing with bosses is that the way it checks for whether or not a boss is dead is with room flags. One of the bits is whether or not you've gotten a heart container, and that's on every room, no matter what. Even though there are very few bosses in the game compared to the number of rooms. So, if you go into a room with the heart flag is dropped and obtained, then it's going to try to drop a pendant or a crystal, depending on your dungeon ID. It's not going to do that if you die, though, Glenn. He's got a fairy.
I saw JC buy a blue potion, so I think he might be trying to do a fake flute here, although he's going to go to Pod first. So he probably is going to wind up getting his pearl.
Yeah, but the blue pot's still useful.
Oh yeah.
And since the boss is dead, it's going to drop whatever Thieves Town has.
Ta-da!
Is that blue?
Yep, it's a blue pendant.
And fortunately for our tracker, that is actually the pendant from Thieves Town.
Right, because we can actually get crystals from different dungeons in different boss rooms. And we'll probably see quite a bit of that later on.
That's one of the things that makes no logic very possible. Like, you can get... Yeah, you can get the prize of Turtle Rock without the Cane of Samaria.
That's true. You could even get, as we were talking about earlier, you can get the prize from Swamp without the mirror or without the flippers. Currently, we don't have a way of doing it without both, though.
There is one problem, though, and that's Mire.
Mire is indeed a problem. If Mire is a crystal, as of right now, the only way to get that crystal is by opening up the front of the dungeon, which would need a very specific medallion. Now, we have two of them, so we're probably in good shape, but if it's ether, we may still need to search more.
We can kill the boss, we can get inside Mire, we just can't get in Mire while we're in Mire to the game.
Right, we can't get the right dungeon ID.
Well, I think we can, it's just really stupid, right?
It's absolutely stupid, and I've only done it once, and I'm not entirely sure it was completely legit.
Okay, JC's definitely doing something because he opened the fairy door.
Oh, Glan is gonna do something that was very recently discovered. A very long super jump. Wrapping around the screen several times, and he's gonna do it again for good measure.
I love that. That's so good.
And now he's down at the very bottom of the world.
That is so good. Entering Swamp to fix his camera and just noping right back out.
Probably gonna go right for Hype Cave now. Gonna take a little bath first.
Honestly, until you said something, I didn't notice which part of Death Mountain he was on. I was hoping we'd see Hover Cave.
I knew we weren't going to see that. It was a question of whether he was going to do that or the Fat Fairy mirror placement, but since he doesn't have mirror, it'd be kind of hard to do that. Alright, JC is going to hammer jump, and meanwhile we're checking Hype Cave here. We're getting lots and lots of money. Oh, we found a pair of boots!
Oh boy!
We found the boots! The fake boots!
You know, that's just like, that's perfect. That's the perfect place for them. Especially in this.
Actually, he just found the other shoe, really. He started with one, and now he has both.
I mean, you only need one. See, this whole time we've been running with a major glitch called fake double boots, where if you only have one boot, the game thinks you have both boots.
Oh, well, turns out
Because normally you get two boots at the same time.
Turns out fake powder was completely unnecessary, because Stumpy had it the whole time.
If this was fake Dark World, would it still be fake powder, though? Like, it's powder, but it's from a fake world.
Nah, it's still real powder.
Oh.
Although you could still fake powder if you don't have any magic.
Is Glam not opting to put anything funny in the dig game?
He's just going for efficiency.
Just a pattern.
I'm surprised he didn't pick up that money.
It
Money
looks
is
like
really
a whale.
important. As you can see by JC's rupee count, money is pretty important here. We might need a lot of that.
Now back down the mire. Close your eyes, because it's gonna hurt for a while.
Epilepsy warning. Epilepsy warning. Although once he exits from this little cave, it'll be fixed.
The reason it does that is because the game only ever checks to load the proper mire overlay graphics when you enter it the vanilla way through the portal.
Or when you exit a cave, or when you open up the overworld map.
Oh, really? Overworld map fixed it?
Yes, it does. But since the game didn't have time to check it at first, it just had an old garbled mess. Luckily, we have the Mire medallion, so we don't have to go searching for it.
Another seizure warning.
Yeah, I guess there's some lightning and such, but it's not nearly as bad.
JC making his way back into Hera. Just to fix the camera, though.
Looks like that swamp is a pendant, so we probably won't see any weird shenanigans to get that dungeon prize at this point.
Well, not the prize, but it's definitely stuff they can do to get everything in swamp without flippers.
Right, we do have enough potions to do that. We can see JC doing what we call T-Rock climb. We say it that because we can get over to the T-Rock area very quickly by climbing up the mountain in that fashion. Looks like he's going for Super Bunny Cave. He never turned in his mushroom, so he doesn't have the hook shot, which makes checking Hookshot Cave kind of difficult.
I think he can hover, though.
I think he can too, but I don't know if he's going to find it worth.
Relatively useful big key, actually.
The eastern one is relatively useful, yeah, because it's while we say we can get to almost any dungeon in a cave state, some are much easier to get to than others, and in fact, probably one of the hardest is Turtle Rock. We can get there, but it's rather convoluted.
Oh yeah, he's gonna hover. Cool.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he did. He killed the other Bari. He's definitely gonna hover.
Okay, so he's gonna try at least. There he goes.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Get your Andy jokes ready.
Ooh, a Tower of Hera small key. That's nice. Although we don't have a fire source for it yet. Not that we need it.
We don't?
We don't. Well, we need Cane of Samaria first to be able to get it, but we don't actually need a fire source to get the chest in the basement of Tower of Hera.
JC really wants that chest.
Got a couple more tries here.
I mean,
Glenn is pretty low on health as well.
He has an infinite number of tries if he really wanted it.
Oh, missed the bonk there. He's going to have to hover somewhere else.
That is the worst thing ever. I do not like when that happens.
Real powder coming in clutch. Oh, is he going to try for the last hover? He's going for it. Oh, nope. No, he's going to do something else. I think he might be going to GT here.
Or getting fairies.
Yeah, he could be doing that too.
That's what I do.
There's a couple of hearts there.
That's what I do casually. Although, the big fairy's pretty slow. So
that's fine. There's a couple of small fairies over here.
Yeah, but
looks like he's going straight for those.
He opened the door to it, so that might mean he's going to GT too.
He's going to try hovering some more, I think. Meanwhile, we've got Glan in upper GT.
Doing a completely vanilla big chest for some reason to get the flippers.
Not actually needed at this point, but nice to have.
I mean, it worked. I don't know why he didn't bomb jump. For those wondering, yes, we are allowed to berate Glam.
So where is Glan going to go to now? He does have a small key here, so he probably is going to go into Swamp and try to get some stuff there.
Yeah, that looks like what he's doing.
I don't think he's going to do too much there, because I think the game still thinks he's in Hera. Or not Hera, Misery Mire. So if he were to die here, he would actually go back to the entrance of Misery Mire.
I think he mostly wanted to open the big key door.
He's gonna go kill Moldorm, and this is our first crystal dupe. Because the game thinks he's a Misery Mire, but once he kills Moldorm here, it's going to drop the Misery Mire crystal.
Or not.
Well, we gotta kill him first, but we'll get there.
But also importantly is he opened the big key door to Hera, so now he doesn't need the Hera big key.
That's right. He's opened everything that the big key is needed for in Hera.
JC,
JC
go to Ganon's tower.
He finally finished all the hovers in Hookshot Cave. We fill on health first, because I think he has only red or blue potions right now. Doesn't have a green one to help him refill there. He's going to use the bomb setup here to get himself onto the farthest pixel here. And that's necessary because bomb doors are what we call auto doors. As soon as you get near the door itself, it winds up just sucking you all the way through. So use bombs to stop it.
Look at that. It's Armos.
Yep, this is water Armos. Everything's a little bit melted here. JC, you're supposed to poke them. Don't slash them. That's weaker. Poke them. Don't slash.
No, use half magic. Use Burna.
Yeah, Burna would be a much better option here.
Have you ever used Burna to kill Armos? It is so good.
Oh, and we have a fire source. We have a fire source from Moldorm. That gives us the way to kill Ganon at this point.
And we have the Mire Crystal. And now
actually, I think that Glan might actually be in Go mode if he realizes it. He might be in Go mode.
Another thing is, you see, when you kill a boss, it puts you back where it thinks you should have been, but not where it thinks you actually were. And because Moldorm's dead, Glan can just go right back upstairs and grab whatever prize Hera has. I hope he's not in Go mode, because we haven't even seen the Samaria.
I know, I'm kind of missing it.
Let's do another.
Sadly, I don't think it's going to be within Speed Gaming's schedule here. They're pretty booked. By the way, if any of you want to learn how to do all of this crazy stuff that you're seeing, stop on by the Glitch Mode channel on the Randomizer Discord. We'd be happy to help you.
Oh no, where's Moldorm? Where'd he go? Oh, here's a crystal.
Moldorm's dead. Moldorm was dead to begin with.
And that is actually Hera.
Yes, that is the Hera crystal because Glan entered from the Hera front door.
You'll also notice that the compass count was pretty messed up. We have all but one chest in Hera, but it says 1 out of 6. And that's because it thought we were, as earlier, it thought we were in Mire. And not even Karkat's superior coding can detect that he was in the wrong dungeon.
Yeah, the compass counts are not very useful in no logic key sanity. They can be some use, but it's not the most useful thing in the world.
I mean, my favorite thing is getting a really high compass count in Turtle Rock.
Oh, and we see a free heart container for JC from Ice Armos. I know we were talking about that earlier. because
wonder-
he doesn't have the GT Dungeon loaded. GT Dungeon actually has a weird property where if you kill a boss, it will not drop a heart container, or it's whatever drop it would be for rando, which could actually wind up soft locking you if you're not careful.
I wonder if that counts as an item get for the rando item count. Also, we saw what our trackers are probably dreading: invisible items.
Yeah, we may have gotten some already, and we don't know it yet. We'll have to wait for their menu. We have fire source behind fire source.
I think he got a heart. There's Bob, which, fun fact, he can actually be produced in vanilla.
Yeah, I think you got him once.
Yeah, it messes up all the other graphics, but you also get Bob. That's what's important.
All right, JC, how are you going to get out of this invisible maze here?
I don't know why he's trying to go that way.
I think what he's going to do is just go down to Ice Armos again. If getting that heart actually counts as Ice Armos being completely dead forever, it does. So he can just go up around to where the big chest is now. That's kind of interesting. I didn't know for sure. So that's good to know. I learned something.
I hope JC learned something too, that you can't get anywhere going backwards through the maze.
You can, but you have to know the path, and knowing the path usually isn't worth it. Meanwhile, Glenn is gonna go do Super Bunny and gonna do Hookshot Cave with boring old Hookshot.
I think that was a completely vanilla key on the torch. In Randomizer, you can actually tell whether or not a key is for the dungeon if it's darker. If it's darker, it belongs to the dungeon. If it's light, it belongs somewhere else.
I wonder if Glenn is going to go into Turtle Rock from here. I don't know if he has enough potions to attempt getting to Hera that way. He might. I didn't see when he last went to buy potions.
And here we have the fast way to do Hookshot Cave. Doesn't require any fairies at all. Yeah, he's going into Turtle Rock.
Do we have the big key for Turtle Rock? I don't know.
I think so.
Oh, no, I don't think we do, because he's skipping it.
That leaves us with 1, 2, 3 chests we can get.
I think only... Well, he could do it with 2, yeah. He could YBA across past the big key door thing and go for the roller chest that's later on.
Maybe. I think we're just going to see the standard overworld glitch path.
Yeah, he's going to go to Chomps, probably Death Warp, and then we'll see what he does from there.
What you're going to notice is that he's going to come out of a door without actually opening it, which is just a thing the game does. It only ever tries to open a door if you are facing it. For key doors. So he's not facing it. The game just puts him past the door. It doesn't care.
You can actually do that in your no glitches race if you bomb jump in Ice Palace.
Yes. With the big key door. And it looks like he doesn't care about Turtle Rock.
Just checking a few item locations here and there.
We have JC doing the famous 55-minute Sahasrara check.
You just never got around to it, man.
I mean, there's so much stuff you can do. That just happens.
I can very well see that happening in the Overworld Glitch tourney, too, where people just kind of forget that Sahasrara exists.
Well, it's never that you forget. It's just like, oh man, I can do all of Death Mountain, so why should I go to Sahasrara?
Should I go get the 10 chests on Death Mountain, or the 3 in Sahasrara? Tough decision.
Oh, I have the Moon Pearl. Now I have access to literally everything in Dark World. Should I do Dark World, or should I do Sahasrara?
Glenn gonna go check Bumper Cave. He has the cave to get it, but
JC doing another bomb juke to get the Eastern big key.
The big key chest there.
chest.
Yeah, it's not. We already have the Eastern big key. It was in Super Bunny. That's, I think, the only key that I know where it was.
This is one of my favorites. And because he did that,
you may notice that JC didn't take any damage from the anti-fairies there.
But
One of
now
the weird consequences of bomb jukes is that you lose the ability to interact with sprites, which is really weird.
Until they're invisible. Once they're invisible, they just kill you.
Yeah, game's weird, man.
But that was obviously intentional, and without the mayor, that's faster than. Well, that's the only way out.
Well, you could save and quit and walk all the way over again, but that's slow.
Yeah, that's really slow.
We got Glenn in Skull Woods. I think he's going to open up as many chests as he can here. Finds the mitts.
The most useless item.
Yeah, it's pretty useless. I think he might go for the Sword Spin to Hera after he opens up all the chests here. Also, because it's no logic, the key that is in this particular trap room is no longer guaranteed. It could be a very important item. It's a heart piece.
You know what I'm really sad about? We don't get to talk about data swapping.
We could, but we haven't really seen an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, we need the cane for that.
Cane facilitates it. They could do it with potions, but it's not nearly as easy as it is with Cane.
Or as powerful.
Absolutely.
I just really want to talk about data corruption and how if you have the Smith, he's just on some random pixel for exactly 1 frame until you move.
I don't know what you're talking about there. That's something new to me.
Well, you know about, the secret mirror stuff that we're going to save until we see it.
Right.
The Smith is in that area of memory too, so... Well, you follow his coordinates, so... Technically, he's just on some random spot, God knows where, because of the corruption. But
I might need to investigate that, because that could be fun.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter, because as soon as you move, it updates to be near you again. So it's 1 frame.
Looks like Glenn is just going to go for the Mothula kill, rather than any other real fancy shenanigans here.
There's not much fancy to do in the back of Skullwood without the cane. Or the mirror, but I don't think Glenn wants to do the 45-second fire rod skip to Mothula. Especially with the fire rod itself.
Yeah. Where is... Oh, I think JC is going to try to YBA to Meyer here. Yeah, he's doing the bomb setup. Oh, he ran out of bombs, though. Is he going to do it with select buffers now? Oh, does he have the right potion? No, he doesn't.
Well, at least he realizes that, because I don't think he needs any more money.
Yeah, he doesn't. He would, if he had done the YBA there with that potion, he would have fluted again. And the only use that we have for the Dungeon Fake Flute in this particular mode is to farm money the insane way that JC did.
Yeah, you can get really cool stuff if we allowed it, but we don't.
It's just too powerful.
Is Glenn still on Fighter Sword?
Yes, he is. He does need to find another sword before he can truly kill Ganon. But, where was the other one that we found?
That makes me think. I wonder if he can permanently kill Ganon.
Maybe.
That would be so cool. I think that would completely change Swordless, though.
I don't think it will, because it's basically the same result as what we do already. Now, we did see a fake
Uh-oh.
flute there out of JC, and he's now in the swamp area. He did use the blue potion on the same frame as the transition in the Dark World, so now he is actually in Dark World, even though it kind of looks like some Light World stuff. You can tell it's Dark World because of the enemies.
We were very briefly in Fake Light World until he transitioned.
Well,
No one likes
Glenn,
Mothula.
what are you going to do now? Do you have a red potion on you? Are you going to go ahead and just spin to Hera?
Nope, not maybe. Swamp? Is that where this is going to take him?
To do what?
Is this going to take him to Swamp?
I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's getting some magic refill. Yeah, he's following the door here. He's getting a magic refill.
I don't think you can get the Swamp there without Samaria anyways.
Yeah, I think you'd have to move pretty far, which I don't think you can do with potions. Especially considering it's one of those auto doors.
I think it's just junk tiles.
Yeah, there's, I think, one full junk tile in between here and Swamp. Where Glenn is, anyway.
I hope someone in chat has posted the full EG map. So the people can actually follow.
I mean, we mentioned the map earlier, the big old quilt of how all the dungeons are stitched together.
But unless you know it, it's hard to just say in words how it works.
I need to redo the tutorial on door glitches. The last one I did was over 2 hours long, and now I think it's going to be over 4 hours long, considering how much new stuff we found.
Oh no. So it looks like JC has his real powder. That probably means he's going to turn in the mushroom and get his hook shot.
Probably going to be happy to see that. Meanwhile, we've got round 2 of Moth with Glam.
And
while
JC
JC's going to check the mire area. Epilepsy warning.
And just as a fun fact, since we're definitely not going to see it from these runners, that thing we said earlier about single entrance and multi-entrance caves, well, Link's house is actually a multi-entrance cave, even though it's on the single entrance cave map. So if you went to the Mire hint guy and you used the YBA to get up there, well, first off, you would see nothing but black because, fun fact, Link's house is a dark room. I learned that from Zarby like a week ago. But even though it's a dark room, it does not have a light cone object anywhere in it, so it's always dark. But if you got into there from a different single entrance cave and you exited, that is the only way you could leave from leave to another place in the overworld on that underworld map.
Meanwhile, on the multi-exit underworld map, you can go just about wherever you want.
And for those completely uninitiated with this game, that's useless because you can just save and quit to Link's house.
Well, that's assuming that save and quit is allowed. Oh, it looks like we're going to get a bat clip out of Glan here. He's going to dash buffer in such a way, hop past the transition, and now he's swimming.
That was really smooth. I cannot do it like that.
And now he's in Bat Cave.
Yep. There's Vitorp's favorite boomerang. And a rare Sluggula room. I think Glan did it too, though.
Yeah, I think he did too. I wonder if they found that going through Slug Room is faster than dashing all the way around to get to the Spike Key area here. Also, did you know that there are fireball shooters behind those torches? There's just usually too many sprites for them to actually fire anything.
Not only are there fireball shooters, there's also fireball blocks, I'm pretty sure, because normally you can stand right behind a torch. Can't stand right behind those torches.
I think they put the graphic that the fireball shooters usually have behind there, just for consistency's sake, even though you can't see it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Game's weird, man.
There's a Hera small key. We might see that used in Swamp.
I don't think... Yeah, Glenn didn't go through to Swamp to unlock it that way. I guess he doesn't really care about Swamp since he knows it's a pendant right now. He is going to go ahead and go for, I think, Checkerboard Cave here, yeah. I honestly think that Glenn is in go mode, but I don't know if he realizes that. He might not know the way of getting to, getting the crystal out of T-Rock with 3 potions, though. I think JC knows, because he found that one.
Mirror would also work, though.
To replace a couple of the potions, yes, it would work.
Should only need 1, though, right?
I'd have to remember how to actually do it, because I don't remember exactly what it is.
You go from Crystal Roller route on the right side of the tile.
You're thinking of the one that goes to Swamp. They haven't killed Argus yet.
Yeah, but you have the hook shot.
You do, and just we haven't been to Swamp in the area, so with Argus still alive, that one doesn't really help us yet.
And Glan, without the big key, is going to do the most messed up graphics you can get in the game.
Hooray, VRAM corruption! By the way, say hi to Lanmo. You can kind of see Lanmo there, wiggling in the ground and popping up and all that. It was a nice quick kill there.
Yeah, and even though you can't tell, Glan's emulator screen is now like 5 times the size.
Not necessarily. I know that happens to Gerdo, but that doesn't happen to every single emulator.
It happens to me when I run Beast Nest.
I think
Sometimes.
I think it's something that happens with BizHawk.
I think it happens with SNES 9X too.
No, it doesn't, because it works fine for me.
It definitely happens with BizHawk, though. I can tell you that.
But yeah, we did get something off of Lanmola's, but we don't know what it was. So he's checking his menu to see is anything different.
The only way to fix that is with a hard reset.
Yeah, so. But
At least
before you
that
hard reset,
particular...
you better make sure you save and quit first. That might
Or
not be the
not.
last time we see a glitchy mess, though, because it depends on whether or not we find the hammer. Because Ice Palace is a crystal. You still need to get that thing.
Glan doing the even more famous 1 hour, 8 minute, 39 second Sahasrahla check.
We had too much of the world to check. JC foregoing the tower room check there, it looks like. Or I guess he just backed out of it. Maybe he already did it, and I missed it. Oh, he doesn't have a fire source, does he?
Yeah, he didn't kill Muldoon yet.
Yeah, he doesn't have a fire source yet. Now, JC is still technically in Mire. The game thinks he's there, so it's using the Mire big key. Because I still don't think we found the Hera big key yet.
We have not, I don't think. I know for sure we have Mire and I don't even remember the other ones we have.
Eastern.
Because and Hyrule Castle, because big keys just don't really matter.
And small keys don't for the most part either, but here we are.
Small keys literally do not matter.
When you have enough potions and things door glitch, they honestly don't. But they're still helpful for speeding certain things up.
That is true. I don't know what sort of mess you guys do for Cave State Swamp.
you could just go. You could go Uncle to Thieves Town, teleport Thieves Town to Desert, YBA Desert to Mire, downward teleport Mire to Hera, and then downward teleport Hera to Swamp. That's one way to do it.
Realized he had his hook shot, and he just went the normal way. Do we know if Eastern is a crystal or not?
I'm not sure if we do. We know Green Pendant. We know. Actually, we don't. Do we? Oh yeah, we do, because pod is a pendant. We saw that earlier. So yeah, it is a crystal. We know it's a crystal.
And we do have 3 bottles, so we could get to Armos.
We could, but that's asking a fair bit there.
Well, honestly, I don't know what else I'd do. What would you do?
At the moment, there's not really much you can do except for search for either Samaria or Bo.
Yeah, because we saw JC getting... Did he get into Mire, or did he just try? Because we saw a way into Mire earlier. But obviously,
I mean, we've gotten into Mire normally on both sides here by just opening up the dungeon with the medallion. Oh yeah, you could also just go to Mire from here.
But yeah, we do need the Cane of Samaria for that.
No, you don't. You do have enough potions that you could get to Vitreous without it. But you would need all 3 potions to do that series of door glitches.
Actually,
I wonder if Glenn is going to go for it.
Actually, we're both dumb because he can just get into Hera.
That's true. He could just teleport to Hera, which is probably what he's going to do instead.
He might realize he's in go mode then.
He might.
Although to kill Aga 2, we're probably gonna need Quadrant Glitch.
No, you can do it with a potion in T-Rock. You probably need another one to get to the spot needed, but it's possible.
Where do you do that? I mean, I was thinking the Quadrant Glitch, then a potion.
Well, to do the quadrant... Well, which quadrant glitch, though?
Oh, wait, no, we need Samaria for that.
Yeah.
I always take that thing for granted.
No, it's so useful. And we're missing it so heavily here. Nonetheless, we're going to be able to get through this seed. This one turned out to be beatable.
Very beatable.
Turns out potions are powerful.
Very powerful. Is Glenn gonna beat the torches back in?
He does.
Fun fact: on the other door to Compass Room, there's another shutter door.
It's and
normally it's permanently closed, but shutter doors all operate on the same flag per room. So if the torches are still lit, that shutter door is gonna reopen.
I probably should have known that, but I didn't actually realize that.
Because it's not very useful. Glenn, a major glitch master, failing the minor glitches.
Meanwhile, we have JC trying to teleport from Hera to Swamp using sword buffers. That's actually a very difficult way of doing it, because he's opting to go for select buffers now. In order to teleport, you have to do a series of 1-pixel movements.
I'm just bomb clip.
There is a bomb clip too, but I guess he's more comfortable with the select buffering teleports.
Yeah, also the bomb clip requires you to lift the pot, and he had not lifted the pot yet.
No, he's got to go and get that other key in the little hallway there. Looks like he's going to exit Swamp here, because I don't see what else he's going to do here. And,
yeah.
Huh.
Even though in that switch room there's a diagonal wall you could clip on, unfortunately you can't use that to get to the other side without flippers.
Right, because as the teleports we've seen, they all actually happen at the very bottom of what we call super tiles, which are these larger structures that are the size of the entrance of Hera or Hyrule Castle. And every single room in the game is actually made up of these super tiles, or are a quadrant of them. And it just so happens the most useful teleports that we know, such as the one that Glenn is trying to do right now, are at the very bottom of these super tiles. And so when you move down, you actually hit the super tile transition. But
Also, Glenn was using boots buffers, and he's the only person I've ever seen use that.
Actually, Farame and Gerdo have picked those up because of Glenn.
Yeah, I need to try it myself, because it does seem very useful.
And Glenn has the Eastern Crystal now.
So
all that rigmarole that he was doing, going from Eastern to Meyer, then teleporting from Meyer to Hera, he now has the Eastern Crystal.
The thing about Hera is that every dungeon has some way to get to Moldorm. So he's more or less actually our favorite boss. At least I see him that way. I don't know if you guys like him.
We like Argus too. And I've taken a predilection toward liking Aghanim 1 a bit more. There's some fun ways you can get to him in no logic, although most of them require Samaria. Which we still have not found, and that disappoints me.
Yeah, it's probably in like GT Big Chest. I've had that before.
If it were in GT Big Chest, we would have seen it already, because JC went through GT Cape State.
Oh, and it's probably somewhere even dumber.
Like Validation. Or the Moldorm 2 chest, if we would rather call it that. Oh. So, weird property that happened to JC there. The Hera Crystal always drops in that location. Most of the other crystal dupes, as you've seen from other dungeons that go to Hera, they kind of drop near where the staircase is. For some reason, the prize for Hera always drops in the very middle of that room. It is hard-coded to do that.
That's just because the room's big. Like, Glenn doing King's Tomb the completely normal way.
Using the mitts that we called useless. But he does have his second sword now, so he can kill
they
Ganon.
are useless. I mean, the one time they can be useful is if you really need to get into Ice Palace and you don't have any potions. Or the mirror.
Or for getting Smith if you don't have potions, or the mirror. Basically, if you have potions and mirror, you can skip myths. Meanwhile, Glenn is probably going to enter Ice Palace from the front. He does seem to be on a path toward Go mode at this point.
Yeah.
He is going straight for dungeons.
Pretty boring, but we will see a nice bomb clip. To skip, let's see, how many rooms is it?
4 or 5.
4? 4 or 5. Oh, it's more in vanilla because you don't go back down. In Rando, you need to go back down to get the penguin chest. Unless he's decided that he's in Go and doesn't want it. I think he's decided he's in Go mode.
Yeah, he's in Go mode. And I think he's going straight for Cold Stare, which means we are going to see a mess of graphics again.
But we're not going to see Cold Stare.
Well, we'll see something that kind of looks like Cold Stare if he were a square instead of cotton candy.
We'll see an abomination that used to be Cold Stare.
The abomination formerly known as Cold Stare.
Exactly.
JC is going through Skull Woods. He does have the fire rod, so he may go for the Mothula kill. Gets his useless mitts. Although he could opt to go for what I called for earlier, the spin YBA to Hera, and he's getting his potions ready. I guess he doesn't have any extras, so maybe we'll just go for Moth here.
It's a shame. Luckily for the flute, we haven't seen it, so it doesn't get called useless this time.
We just faked
it. Yep. In these modes, the flute is just completely useless.
A luxury at best.
That's like vanilla with fewer steps. Yeah, we're definitely seeing this cold YBA.
Yep, because Glenn does not have the hammer to hit the pegs in this room. So what he's going to do instead is get these jellies out of the way.
I feel like we should explain what exact the spin does.
So when you have a sword spin charged, and you do a YBA at the same time and release that spin before the transition happens, it actually moves you a bit further in a way, but also kind of not, because we'll see Glenn kind of wrap around into the same room here. Oh, actually, because Glenn is using a blue potion, we're not going to get the abomination formerly known as Cold Stare. We're actually going to get Cold Stare.
Oh.
He is opting to not do the VRAM corruption.
To be
But
fair,
anyway,
it's going to be a pain with Master Sword.
he's got half magic and fire rod. I think he'll be fine. But anyway,
no matter what you have, that abomination Cold Stare is a pain.
back to the whole spin YBA thing. For some reason, certain YBAs, when you add a spin to them, and this only happens when you go north, by the way. It only ever happens going north with these YBAs. It does something very weird. Glenn is trying very hard to get this. He's having to reset the room every single time just to open up the shutter doors as he goes.
And this is frame and pixel perfect.
Luckily, he's using the bomb to get the pixel part, but he still has to get the frame part.
And now, for normal YBAs...
Oh, he got it! He got the save and quit menu there, by the way, from the blue potion effect. And
which brings
by
up
moving precisely, finds a random hole in the wall, and is now at Cold Stare.
It brings up the last message you saw. The thing with normal YBA, you can have a different grip where you put a finger on a button and a finger on the direction. You just push with your wrist. That's a lot harder to do when you need to also have a spin charge, because you need to be having the B button held down with something.
Alright, so we have one crystal left for Glenn to get.
I wonder where he's going to get it.
He might actually try to get it from Argus. Now that I think about it, because there's a way he could do it that way. I think he might go for it from Argus.
Yeah, the thing you can do with Mirador should be exactly the same as a red YBA.
Glenn is in the tank. He is trying to figure out, how am I going to get this T-Rock crystal? What do I need to do? First things first, he's going to go buy more potions.
He's using this very useful setup for fake flippers. Oh, never mind, he has the real flippers.
The fake flippers. You could do Hover T-Rock if you really wanted to, although I don't think they have the Turtle Rock big key, and there is a door right in front of Trinix that you would need to open there.
I also don't think they want to.
Yeah, Hover T-Rock is really bad.
With 2 red potions, Glenn could open the door to Trinix.
Yeah, I guess he could, but I think he's going to do something else instead here. I really think he's going to get it off of Argus. Oh, this is that.
Never use spin speed there. Like, with super speed. Have it armed, but don't actually be fast. Hopefully that's a lesson Glenn keeps in mind. We have
JC is YBAing from Desert to Thieves Town, and now he's going to try to get to the boss room real quick and get the crystal that way, rather than fighting Landmolas.
That's a fun one. We get to see, that's the great part about this. There's so many
different ways.
That's only 2 of them. Neither of them went to Moldor, and we said earlier that there's always a way to Moldor.
Well, Glenn is at T-Rock. I wonder which method he's going to use.
The suspense is killing me.
Oh wait, JC is going to swamp now? Did he get the crystal already? I think he did. Or is he going to go kill Argus right now rather than go get the crystal off of Thieves Town? That might be his plan. Because then having Argus dead makes getting the crystal out of T-Rock a lot easier than what Glenn is trying to do here. And it does look like that Glenn is going to try to YBA to Swamp here, which is a YBA plus some rather precise movement so that you can manipulate your camera to be in a certain position.
I don't know anything, because my restream just major glitched right there. So all I see is JC and Swamp. And I see what Glenn's doing now. Yep, he's getting it from Argus.
Kind of like what JC is doing. I don't think JC got the desert prize though yet. So, oh, Glenn drank one of his potions. He did not get the potion effect though, and he automatically reset to get his potions back.
Because that's a lot faster than going back to buy more potions.
Especially because he only has 360 rupees. That only gets him a few potions at this point.
Yeah, and each of those potions can only get him like 10,000 rupees.
Well, it's a bit harder for him right now because he has flippers, but he could still do it.
It's a pain in the butt. JC not opting to break graphics.
Yep, he's going to go to Argus a relatively vanilla way.
I love how we're just not even phased by all these overworld major glitches.
Oh yeah, we're not even mentioning all the teleports and jumping around that these players are doing. We did a little bit at the start, but
yeah,
you'll see a lot more of it in the Overworld Glitch tournament, and we'll see a lot more hype out of it there.
Explain it once and done. Let's get to the Underworld.
Yep.
So,
Polyam is right. Reminder that JC is still in Desert, technically. The game still thinks he's in Desert Palace.
Now, this is one of the most annoying rooms to try to snap in.
There's a visual cue that I use when for this room that is my sword facing up. Now, I wonder if Glenn is going to try to do a certain kind of YB. No, he's just going to select buffer it, I guess. He's going to have a hard time with it because there's two frames that look exactly the same, except one of them link is 1 pixel lower, and then the next frame after that is the transition, which is not very helpful for him.
You're right. It's not very helpful for him. JC killing Argus.
Getting the map for Meyer and getting the Desert Crystal.
I feel like that's all the maps. Because the front of the scene was just loaded with maps and compasses.
Items that are almost completely useless to us in this mode. Alright, so where is JC going to go now? Well, he's going to Light World. Or rather, he's in Light World now.
I mean, when you said that he was going... Usually at this point in the glitching, I get fed up with trying to buffer it, so I just go for it unbuffered.
Glenn drank his potion prematurely again, and he reset immediately.
Yep, that's what I do,
He didn't quite get it.
I failed doing it unbuffered. Right to reset.
I wonder how JC is going to get the crystal out of Eastern. Probably the same way that Glan did, by going to Meyer and then teleporting to Hera.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one. Bombs? Oh, I guess that is what he wants next. I was hoping we'd see something unique from him.
Well, he's going to use it to set up the positioning for the YBA to Meyer.
Yeah, but Gwen already did that.
Alright, attempt number 3 from Glan to get the YBAs to go from Turtle Rock to Swamp.
Oh, and dang, he only has 6 bombs.
I don't think that really matters for him at the moment.
No, because it only gives you a few attempts at snapping.
I'm not entirely sure why he's trying to snap there. I think he's also going a bit early there. He could snap one lower without needing to go with the explosion. Alright, he's one lower. Now he's one... no, he missed it there. He drank his potion again. Well, he gets his bombs back at least as well. And I think JC drank his potion too, and is going to go ahead and do a clip here up to the potion shop and go buy more. Either that or he realized he didn't have any to begin with.
Keep this in mind for the Overworld Glitches tourney.
You see JC move to the right there a bit because the transition was just to his left. However, if he had touched it without letting it lock the way that he did, he would have wound up in an infinite scroll and hardlock his game, which would require a hard reset.
What is Glam doing?
Oh, he's going to Swamp a different way. I think he did a spin YBA in Uncle to go to Swamp.
Yeah, that's what he did. I don't know why.
I think he's just going to go kill Argus right now while checking some chests over here.
Maybe.
Because killing Argus would make it a lot easier for him to get the crystal out of T-Rock.
Yeah, I think that would allow him to get from...
Oh, we had more maps.
Oh, I guess that wasn't the last one. Or maybe JC checked it?
No, JC... I don't think JC went for left side swamp chests. I know he was over there, but I don't think he checked them. Glan needing to do a YBA to get across the water channel here because it's not flooded. He gets it pretty quickly. I believe JC did the same thing earlier when he went from desert, or from thieves, no, desert to thieves to swamp to, oh wait, no, he went to Meyer somewhere in the middle there, didn't he? I forget exactly what he did, that weird chain that he did.
I can't even remember what I do places. Flooding the key doesn't... because we have 254 keys left to use. I don't know if we have the swamp big key, but that doesn't matter either.
Because we have the Hyrule Castle big key. Now, one consequence that the Spin YBA had for Glan there is that his camera now doesn't lock on the very top or bottom of the super tiles, or even in the sub-tiles here. So, right now it looks like he's just unlocking doors so he can come through Swamp later. He can't actually transition north or south without screwing up his game to a part that's really hard to get out of.
I don't know if it's even possible to get out of hitting Swamp.
It might be possible. There's a bunch of weird north-south transitions you could use between the main hub room and the rooms to the left and right.
Stairs don't matter, though.
That's
Stairs
right.
aren't actual doors.
They're more like the orange teleporters that you find in GT or other places.
But if you want to be technical, those are more like holes. They do actually use the... Every room... Unfortunately, I didn't get to explain this. Wrong warps. Every room has a flag for whether or not a pit does damage. Every room also has a flag that, while probably isn't always intended to be used for it, points to where the room should go if you fall into a hole or use a teleporter. So, for example, the room that JC's in right now, that's pointed to the Slugula room.
The Slugula, yeah, the big key chest and the Slugula conveyor room.
But if you can somehow get that flag off of a room with damaging pits, then you'll transport yourself to whatever room it thinks you should be going to.
And just as you were saying, every single room in the game has some destination for when you fall into a hole. It's defined one way or another.
A lot of them are Ganon.
A lot of them are Argus.
A fair number of them are this room 05, which for some reason leads to itself if it were to have a pit. It's the only room that does that. And as we're probably going to see, a lot of rooms in T-Rock lead to Aghanim too.
I guess Glenn is going to do a GT clip here.
That's a good play. GT has a lot of items.
And he hasn't been here yet. JC did a bit of a GT clear earlier. Not a whole lot, but did some of it.
And no, we don't need Samaria. We don't need the hand. And you know what? We don't really need the bow.
And we don't even need hookshot. We don't need any of the items that you would normally think are necessary to get through the different parts of GT.
Oh yeah, we're probably gonna see, we might see random room with glitches, and I think we're gonna see the Stalfos room with glitches.
I think we're definitely gonna... Oh yeah, Glenn is gonna go for a door juke here, which will help him get to the Stalfos room and skip the hammer requirement.
But the important question is, how is he gonna juke? Is he doing my bomb juke?
Nope, he's trying to fit in a couple of dashes over.
Oh,
did not quite get it.
That's not my bomb juke.
The way that I use it is based off of holding my sword facing up, because you can barely see it off the top of the door frame there if you're facing upward and having it held out.
What I do is I actually select buffer with the bomb or Samaria block in the air, and if it moves by 1 pixel, I know that I've moved by 1 pixel.
I've noticed that that's not completely reliable. However, the spark that's going around the torch is.
It's always been reliable for me, but I'll have to keep that in mind.
Oh, it looks like JC is going for the spin YBA from Skullwoods to Hera, which is actually a wrong warp, like we were talking about earlier. He is trying to be very careful to not get grabbed by the hand or be hit by any of the mummies here. Although he needs to realize he needs to take damage before he can use this red YBA. Okay, he's fine now. Okay, he ran into a spike to make sure.
Gland's in the rando room.
No, he's in the Stalfos room with the auto.
That's this tile? Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's that tile.
The rando room's the tile to the right.
And because he has Bombos, he can kill this guy in the middle here. Now, we did mention it earlier, but when you do door jukes the way that Gland did, you lose the ability to interact with sprites. But medallions don't care. They'll just kill everything on screen.
Another thing that doesn't care is our fireballers.
Yeah, they'll hit you no matter what.
Yeah, they don't care where Link thinks he is. They will look at where he is on screen, and if they are touching, they will hit him.
By the way, Glenn just opened up Bob's chest and is falling to Ice Armos now.
Which is going to open automatically because we can't see ice armors.
Meanwhile, JC just exited out of Hera. It may not look like it, but he was in Hera there for a moment, getting the crystal from Skull Woods.
And it looks like we're not going to see Rando Room.
Now, JC does have Argus dead. He still needs to get the crystal out of Ice Palace. I wonder how he's going to do that. He's first going to go stock up on some potions.
Well, before that, he's going to throw his boomerang.
Now, what is Glenn going to do? Glenn is still trying to figure out how is he going to get the crystal out of T-Rock.
I think he's given up on the South YBA because
I think he has too, but he has to find some way of either killing Argus or another method of duplicating the crystal from Trinix in some other boss room.
honestly, I'd just kill time and do Aghanim too. Because we do still need to do that.
That is true, and
We've never even
Glenn
looked at
did
the
buy the
pyramid.
2 potions necessary to... Glenn just bought a couple of potions, and those would be the ones necessary to do that.
We didn't even
But he's
look
going
at Pyramid,
somewhere
did
else.
we?
No, I don't think we've been to Pyramid. Nor Catfish, or a bunch of overworld locations in general.
Yeah, with so much stuff open, it's easy to just not do things.
Especially when you know you can actually complete the game at this point. You know you can, you know that there's a way to do it, but just trying to figure out the way to get around and doing that is difficult.
Well,
at
right
times.
now it's more like, we know there's a way to do it, but you don't really feel like doing it because it sucks.
And it's difficult because it is a frame perfect trick, and Glenn was not using a visual cue that makes that easy. Looks like that Glenn is going into Thieves Town to get to Swamp. Or no, he's doing other things.
Smith,
He's doing
maybe?
Smith. He's doing Smith. He's going to have to save in quick because he doesn't have Mirror. I wonder if he's going to try taking the guy on a tour here.
Where's he going to tour to? Yeah, he just
I guess
forgot.
that answers that question. There really isn't too many places for him to go. Now, JC, what are you doing here? What are you doing? A red YBA north. Another one north.
I don't even know where to take him.
He's trying to spawn a hole in the middle of the room here. I don't think he got it, though. I think he knows that... Oh, yeah. He realized that something went wrong there. I think he was trying to get a hole to spawn in the middle of the room, and that particular room has a destination to the Argus boss tile. And
That I did not know.
It's a lot easier to
Oh.
get that with the Cane of Samaria, but we still haven't found that.
Sounds like a fun way to Argus. What is Glenn doing? Is he...
I think he's just trying to figure out where things are. He's just checking a bunch of locations. Not entirely sure where he's
Okay, I
going
don't-
now.
I don't think he did graveyard clip. This clip sucks, by the way.
It's better than it's ever been.
I still don't like
Where
it,
is
though.
JC going? Is he just? Oh, he's just refilling on fairies. Okay.
Oh, that's useful. That is very useful for Glenn.
Which big key was that?
That was Turtle Rock.
That is useful for Glam.
He can get to Argus extremely easily now.
Well, the Argus tile. He can't actually get to Argus itself. Unless he does the South YBAs he was trying earlier.
No, he should be... Well, I mean, he wouldn't be able to get to the fight, but he should be able to get to the same tile as Argus. Because what we're talking about, like Kiki Skip, does wrap the map.
Except
So
instead
the-
of going from the bottom to the top, it goes from the top to the bottom. But no matter which way you wrap around that quilt of dungeons, it winds up just putting you on essentially a parallel universe.
Oh, and the fun thing is, it's not just rep, because Argus is actually at the top too. But what this does is it brings you to the bottom into, I think it's the Angry Brothers house. And when you have the Turtle Rock tile set loaded, the carpet turns into pits. And those rooms wrong warp to Argus.
I think that was one of the first crystal dudes we ever had, by the way, which was a revolution in door glitches and kind of inspired the experimentation that took to bring about what you're seeing today.
Looks like we have purple chest too.
I think Glenn is really trying to find Samaria right now.
I don't think he realizes that he can kill Argus.
He can, but maybe he just doesn't want to go through that convoluted process at the moment.
He might be thinking that he needs to kill Argus normally, so he wants Mirror or Book.
No, Book doesn't do it because he would need Samaria for that.
Oh yeah. I told you, I take that thing for granted. JC getting the cold stare. He's probably going to do the same YBA Glenn did.
No, he's probably going to do the red one and have the abomination formerly known as Gold Stare.
Oh, that's true. The same idea, just better looking. Depending on your definition of better.
Oh, because oh no, he does have enough health gone here. So we get to see more glitchy graphics out of JC. Gotten a lot of them out of him today. Behold, Cube Stare.
I've never heard that name before. I like it. The screen looks even worse. But you can kind of tell what's going on.
The only thing you can't tell is where the edges of the room are.
You can't really see where the ice is falling either.
Right,
or your
it's not really creating the shadows for where the ice is going to fall.
And there's the Cane of Samaria.
In Turtle Rock! Oh, Glenn must be so happy to find that.
Believe it or not, it can be there in Overworld Glitches.
Given the right key layout, anyway.
Yeah, given the right key
I
layout.
think Glenn is... Glenn might actually try to go to Hera from here with that, or he's going to go closer to the entrance of T-Rock and do something there.
I think he's going to do... It looks like he's trying to do Agatu.
No, if he was going to do Agatu, he would do something different. Oh no, he's going... He's doing some East Samaria glitches, which are a relatively new glitch.
They're also relatively annoying.
They are quite annoying to do. So what he has to do for that is to snap past the transition using the Samaria block, then come back a little bit, then walk into the block again. And that is part of what is a data swap. So you saw the screen flash there for a moment. The game now thinks that Glenn is one super tile or one set of rooms to the right. Now he's two sets of rooms to the right, and is trying to transition around.
No,
he is now in Hera.
No, this doesn't just
and as you can
swap data, it also corrupts data.
But because the game thought he was a couple of super tiles to the right, it was using the transitional data from that for the doors. So if you transitioned off of that super tile, it would use whatever room you had loaded, which is why the swapping is so powerful, because you're loading these other rooms off to the side. Oh, we have a tempered sword in the Turtle Rock big chest, which I guess Glenn already got.
Yeah, we completely missed that because we were too focused on what glitches he was going to do, how he was going to get to whatever crystal he planned to get to. And
And
now
here we
we're
see
gonna-
JC is going to go and do the glitch that you were talking about earlier, where the rug turns into a pit. So this is a little-known room in the overall game, but it's actually pretty important in these glitched modes because of its ease of access to get the crystal for Turtle Rock.
It's also literally the only room in the entire game where a block cannot be pushed until something else triggers it. In this case, killing all the enemies.
Looks like
That's what I
Glenn
said.
is doing the Aga 2 wrong warp here. He did a Smario glitch in the Pokies 2 room and is using some camera shenanigans and is falling down in the lava pit room.
I actually do it a completely different way, but then when I was studying the swordless task, I saw it done that way, and I really liked it.
Yeah, it's one of the best ways of getting to Aghanim 2 using very few items. Which, by the way, we have a Rainbow Link and a Rainbow Aghanim.
Which happens because, well, first off, I think we should explain that we're fighting Aghanim 1, and that's because we're in the fake Dark World. And that happened because... How did we get to Hera again?
I don't think that was the case. I think Glan had death warped at some point in Turtle Rock here.
Yeah, that might have been it.
Because even if he got to Hera, he would have been in fake Light World then, which is the game thinking he's in Dark World, but on a Light World screen. And that would have given him Aga 2 here rather than the Aga 1 fight. However, it doesn't matter which Aghanim you kill in this room, you still get the Ganon Bat spawn.
So anyway, Rainbow Link happened. To apply transparency, the game switches where Link's palette is. But if the game doesn't know where his palette actually is, it will use whatever it will use. It will still use the same palette slot, which for some reason in this case is just a default rainbow palette. So it's looking at the top of the sprite palette data to use for Link, even though normally it's palette at the bottom.
Looks like JC is getting some more potions so that he can possibly do a wrong warp or something to Aghanim 2. Meanwhile, we have the Ganon fight on Glan's side.
And we're gonna see the important minor glitch of all. That's so important it's not even considered a minor glitch.
Silverless Ganon.
Yeah, silverless. And torch glitch. Probably. A fight everyone's seen before. I hope.
If this is your first time witnessing a randomizer, I'm so sorry.
Fun fact, if you could spawn 16 bees, the floor would not fall.
Because the floors use up some of the sprite slots, and having so many bees fills up all of those sprite slots.
It actually really messes up Ganon's bat phases. Like, so if you use cheats to spawn 16 bees on screen, when he's trying to do the fire bats in phase 2, he just kind of sits there in his pose.
He's waiting until the entire circle has been formed, but since they don't all spawn, they're kind of stuck there.
And, like, nothing ever happens. He just sits there. And for a while, I thought it was just a soft lock. But then he started moving again.
Alright, so we have JC doing a South YBA here to the lava room to basically do the same wrong warp, but in a different way. Meanwhile, we have Glan with the sword up and the big pig dead.
I wonder... Oh man, JC is like literally one room away from Samaria.
And Glan finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 45 seconds.
But one thing I'm curious about is why Glan did not get the boss music for Aghanim.
You know, I hadn't even noticed that.
Usually that's my tell for if I did it, because, as explained before, sometimes you lose sprite interactivity. Well, if you mess that up with Aghanim...
Well, that has to do with how your camera's being manipulated, and that's kind of why you saw Glenn do a couple of extra transitions and move the camera up a little bit and all that. It's
yeah, but my tell for that is always the boss music starts playing, and in vanilla you get the text box saying, "Or you killed me before, but you're not gonna kill me this time because I split in 3."
That's probably why it didn't play the music for Glenn then, because he was in fake Dark World somehow, or the game thought he was in Light World while he was in T-Rock when he did the wrong warp, so he got Agha 1.
That might be it.
As far as a time for a no-logic seed, that's respectable.
This is really good. Because, I mean, things can be anywhere. You might have to do something really complex to get an item you need to finish.
We were fairly lucky with the Meyer Medallion and the fire sources, which are actually often some of the hardest things to find in a no-logic seed, as well as having enough swords so that damage can actually be applied to Ganon.
I think, you know what, even though we didn't Samar, we also didn't get the hammer or the mirror.
Yeah, we never found either of those, which, by the way, if you are keeping track, are usually required for Ice Palace, and Swamp Palace, and Palace of Darkness, although we can actually skip the hammer uses there. In No Logic, hammer turns into a luxury.
How are you gonna skip the hammer in Dark Palace if you don't even have Samaria? Can you do that?
I think there's a way to do it. I'm trying to remember how it works. I think I remember getting it by using 3 YBA starting in GT, but it was really convoluted. Oh wait, no, I started in Ice Palace, and that was to get to Helmasaur.
Wait, what are we talking about? Just go to Moldorm.
Oh yeah. I think I was talking about getting to Helmasaur without the hammer, and you were just talking about getting the Pod Crystal without hammer.
I think I was talking about Helma, but I forgot just going to Moldorm.
Because all roads lead to Hera. And we have JC finished now with the sword up. The big pig is dead on both sides.
And I think it's a testament to how well these players know the game that they still finish pretty close to each other, even though the game has literally no logic.
And JC finishes with an SRL time of 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 13 seconds. Now, Willard J. Bradley has been so kind as to save the spoiler log for us, and I'm going to go ahead and take a peek at that and see if I can find out where the hammer was.
Hammer, bow, mirror would all be fun to find. And maybe that 4th bottle. Not the flute, though. Who cares about the flute?
The hammer was in Thievestown Big Chest.
Ha! So, when I was, shilling for this race, a lot of people would be like, what if something's impossible, like hammer and TT Big Chest?
Well, turns out that doesn't matter.
It's also very possible.
Which, by the way, it is actually possible to get the hammer out of that big chest. You just need the Cane of Samaria for it.
So, where was Mirror?
Turns out the bow was on Armos Knights in Eastern.
Are we sure this wasn't a Plando?
And the mirror is on the pedestal, as I think we saw from the pedestal text that Glenn had on his screen. So yeah, we were never going to get any of those items.
Bow from Armos is... Do you have another way, a 3 YBAs.
Yeah, that's one way. Or if you have the Cane of Samaria, you can do, I think, 12 Samaria glitches to go from Thieves Town to go fight Armos.
Yeah, Armos is unfortunately very dumb to get to without the bow.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hi. That was fun.
Indeed it was.
So, we just took a peek at the spoiler log, courtesy of Willard Bradley.
Yeah.
And turns out the hammer was in Thieves Town Big Chest, the bow was on Armos, and as you may have seen on the credit sequences here, the mirror was on Pedestal.
Oh, nice. I mean, I had access to it then. Where was Kane?
Kane was actually
That's
in
hilarious.
T-Rock. You were one room away from it, right when you were wrong warping to Aga
Oh.
2.
Oh, I was already in go mode, so I didn't care that at that point.
Yeah, I ended up finding it because I couldn't do that YBA.
Yeah, Glenn had a lot of trouble doing the South YBA to go from Turtle Rock into Swamp so he could go fight Argus properly, because
Oh,
he hadn't
yeah.
killed him yet.
Well, I was gonna.
Yeah, I don't
YBA
remember that
hammer.
one, and that one's a fairly tricky sequence.
Mhm.
Now, if you didn't remember that one, that would be bad to try it because you can soft block on the water.
Yeah, if you don't fix the tile set.
Yeah, that happened to me when I raised Samurai in the previous Major Glitch showcase that we had, where I was trying to do the same thing that Glenn was, and I just could not remember how to fix my camera once I was in Swamp. So I just did another
Yeah.
way.
Yep. I couldn't remember if I could do a double YBA to do the same thing as Samaria in Ice Palace. Like, well, guess I'm fighting Cold Stare.
I think you could do it if you did I think I've done it before. You can do it with a spin blue YBA in that room, and it creates the hole in the middle.
Oh, okay.
For which one?
For the Ice Wrong Warp to Argus boss fight tile.
Oh, okay. I don't know that one.
I know you know the one where you create the hole in the middle with the Cane of Samaria in the first penguin kill room.
Okay, I think so.
I didn't know that one. I learned it today.
That's a fun one. I didn't even see myself kill the first 2 puffs in the Cold Stare fight.
Yeah, Glenn actually did the Cold Stare fight without corrupting his graphics by using a blue potion instead of the red potion. So he had that little bit of mercy.
Where's the swag then?
I mean, he did it for late.
Yeah, I did it for Lanmo. I
Which,
had a
by the
perfect
way,
fight.
JC, I have to commend you on what you did for Desert, because that was... I had trouble following what you were doing, and after a while we were thinking, wait, is he still in Desert?
Yeah, you just need 2 potions from Thieves to make it to Argus if you have Hookshot and Flippers. And then that 3rd one came in handy to get from Desert to Thieves. Actually, I guess at that point, I guess I could have just unlocked the stuff and Mara did it easier. Oh well.
Yeah, retrospect in these things is you think, okay, could I have done that better? And usually the answer is yeah. It's very hard to route things and determine exactly when you have everything you need to just go and collect the rest of the crystals, kill Agatu, and then kill Ganon.
But also knowing a billion ways to do everything and what
Oh,
makes
yeah.
this possible.
That makes it all fun.
Yeah, that's the fun. The Am I in Go mode game.
I was hoping to find Bo behind Armos 2, but nothing was in GT, I don't think.
I think we were like 50 minutes in when Taj was saying, I think Glenn might be in go mode.
In 50 minutes?
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
he had
like-
enough potions,
Yeah, I
he
was-
had flippers and hookshot and such.
Oh yeah.
I was
forgot-
thinking that around then, but I knew that I didn't really remember the YBA for duping Turtle Rock. So like I was kind of really apprehensive.
I had to think
There-
a little bit. I had to pull up the map a little bit. It's like, okay, did I need a spin here, or is it just normal? But yeah.
Glenn, I don't think you know this one because JC found it and it hasn't really been popularized, but there is a 3 YBA way of going from the room to the left of the T-Rock Big Chest all the way over to Hera.
Okay.
I think he knows that one because I was having trouble in a seed once and he brought it up. Or you brought it up and he was there.
It's just one of those things that unless you've done it yourself a few times, you kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
And that's really the big thing about racing the no logic seats, that you have to practice and know all of these different routes or have some way of looking it up. We do have a resource with a whole bunch of these sort of things on there, but it honestly doesn't have everything, especially a lot of the more recent stuff, because I've been lazy about updating it.
One thing to mention as well, even though it seems really crazy, the effects of all these glitches are very consistent. They're not always the same, but like 90% of the time you can say, I need to get here and I know this does this. So you can try it and it will work.
Right. It took months of experimentation to get to that point where we can usually figure out, okay, hey, I have these many potions. Can I get to there? Let me see. What are the doors? What are the doors in between here and there?
Yep.
In any case, I'm going to go ahead and plug the Glitched Modes channel here again. If you want to learn how to do any of the stuff that you saw here today, feel free to ask. We're always happy to help. We're
Or
always happy to
yell.
have more people join us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And tonight's also the last night for Sinus for Overworld glitches starting up on Monday.
Oh, so it is tonight. I thought...
Or tomorrow.
I was saying,
one of those.
I was thinking it was the 30th, but I think that's the deadline to have your 2 races in under 3 hours done.
Yeah, that's when we're hoping to start. That's when we're going to start matches is Monday.
Yeah, come on. Even I have even I have my 2 seeds for the tourney and I'm not even... I was though, but my computer broke.
Oh no.
I'm on my phone right now. I hope like my Apple earpods aren't like the worst thing ever and everyone left the stream.
No, we've got some people in chat. We're fine.
Yeah, your mic quality's fine.
I don't even know if I'd